Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all my friends. The show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is the Black Captain, and across from me is Philip Prestisher. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Black Captain. It was funny because today I was like, we're recording episodes. I always don't know how to call him. Like, do you call him Captain Bob, Captain? I call him Captain Jason. But now...
I was so tickled with myself. It doesn't happen a lot, but just call me the Black Captain going forward, please.
The Black Captain. All right. I'm going to write it down for prosperity.
I'm actually an octoroon, so you can call me that. You can call me much worse, I guess, if you wanted.
Do I be called Captain Black or Black Captain?
Cap'n Black, just like Cap'n Crunch.
Oh, that would cap in their asses.
CAP''N Black. Cap'n Black.
Arr. Welcome to Pirate Pilots.
Pirate Cast. Oh, boy. Good start.
Great start. Usually you're very relaxed because of the pianos. We've explained this many times, but this time you were.
I always have it in me. I just try to suppress it at the beginning of the show, and then I just tickle myself just in the right way.
Well, it's like the numbers are going up, the ratings are going up.
Oh, sure they are.
So this is a perfect opportunity to just make them go even higher.
Yeah, that's right. That's what people want. They're just waiting for me to crack. Well, there you go, folks. I cracked. You happy?
They're like, I won. It took 19 episodes, but the kid finally did it.
It took the world's greatest joke to make him crack.
Hey, you.
I want to banter with you. Will you be bantered by me?
I'll happy to banter with you. We usually have a few moments on the show.
Banter fodder?
That we're in the captain's captain's lounge. And so this is where we banter.
We're just lounging like LL Cool J once did. I got my tax refund back, and I did my taxes myself on TurboTax.
Nice.
How do you do your taxes?
I've done TurboTax by myself for many years.
Okay, so this year it's like totally free. Did you take advantage of the complete free option?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
In the past, it's like, do your federal for free, and then they'll charge you like $30, $40 for state. And I actually did pay like an extra $30 just to be extra thorough, which is totally a waste for me. Because like even though they're getting more thorough, I'm like, I guess I didn't take money out of a 401k and invest it into a COD or whatever. Right. I don't know what I'm doing. So I think I just blew that extra $30. Did you already get your tax back?
Yeah, we got ours back beginning of March.
You had you had a check from your previous job, and then you like immediately blew it on an awesome TV.
Right.
Did you blow the tax money already? Is it gone?
No, it's not gone yet.
Are you saving? What are you doing?
Oh no, well it's not gone, but since our hours were cut at work and Molly's hours got cut by 2 days.
Jeez,
so 16 hours, and I got mine cut 8 hours. So I'm at 40 as opposed to I was working 48. So I was getting 8 hours of overtime. So it was a big chunk for me taking off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of stipend that.
So you're holding on to it because of the cut hours. You're saving your tax.
We're using it for bills.
Okay.
And also, we also got our stipend checks too.
Oh, for what?
Profit sharing.
Oh, from the current job?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I have never in my life had any.
Nope.
You worked at CAT for many years, and everyone around you, they
would talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I going to do? How many days in Disney World can I? And you're just sitting there like, I'm a contract worker. I know more than most of you people, and yet money just raining from the heavens upon you
for no reason.
And I'm in all these text messages with my friends who work at Caterpillar, and the same thing. They're like, "Yeah, I'm getting stip drunk today." Just all this great stuff. And I'm like,
it used to really bother me because they're not supposed to. Caterpillar rules, like they're not supposed to discuss it in front of you.
Yeah.
And like during meetings, like your boss would be like, "Yes, guys, don't forget April blah 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 is when we're supposed to be our stipe. If you want to know your formula to see how much you're getting, you go to your dashboard, blah blah blah."
And you'd be tearing up the whole time.
And I would just be sitting there going, fuck you guys."
Jeez.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. My daughter's in the next room. I don't think she's hearing anything, but in case she does. No, it's all right. It's all right. No, I say it right to her face all the time. I just got mine back, and I split it with my daughter's mother. So I got about like $2,700, and I blew it immediately on my credit card.
Yes. Debt. Yeah, and that's one good thing about you. That's why I look up to you.
That's the only good thing about me. Don't look at me financially. Jesus
I look up to you
Christ.
financially because I am a kind of person that I spend beyond my means.
Yeah.
You're not like that. You like the simpler things in life.
I truly do.
Like I have to go buy this TV. I just got this money 30 minutes ago.
And I'm like, hey, friend who has a broken TV, give it to me so I can fix it for $15 and have it work for the next 10 years.
Right. And you've been talking for quite a long time about
it's less than $300 left on my credit card.
Nice.
I feel very good.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
And so I went out yesterday, and I don't know how much you pay attention to my footwear, but I always wear these black shoes, and I've been wearing them probably for 18 years now. Not the same pair, but I bought like a ton of them. I think in the course of my life I've had...
Oh, not all at the same time?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, one time I did buy them because they stopped making them. So I found a place in Florida that still had them. They're the Skechers Black Alley Cats. There's the matte finish and there's the shiny finish, and I like the matte finish because I don't like the shine. I don't want to be too flashy.
But, per the pilot uniform stipulates...
You have to have the shiny shoe,
right?
And that's fine. I'll put aside my Alley Cats, when I'm in flight, when I'm in air. But when the sun goes down and it's time to party, boom, Alley Cats come back on. So they stopped making these shoes, and the ones I'm wearing right now are my last pair. And I go out to the mall yesterday. I'm like, I want to get me some boots, and I'll spend a little scratch on it. I need some nice boots.
You're like, I'll make it rain.
I'll make it rain for boots. And then I came across the Alley Cats on a shelf, and I hadn't seen them on a shelf in 15 years.
Wow.
I was so excited. I talked to the guy there. I said, hey, do you have these in the matte finish? And he's like, no, we don't. And I was like, oh, geez. And then I went down to the Buckle, the Buckle in the mall. And then I went and I spent $170 on a pair of boots there.
One pair of boots?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of scratch. I would not spend that much for
I never get new clothes. All my clothes are from like garage sales and stuff. And then my shoes, I never buy new shoes really. And so I thought, I'll blow a little money on that, but I'm having like massive buyer's remorse now.
No, don't. You know what? Hang with me. I will show you not to how to have buyer's remorse.
Hang with me, says the guy who's talking to the man who's in financial shambles, who envies the way he handles his money.
but we are in financial shambles as well. I don't really, we're not making Tarmac John money here,
right?
But
there's a lot of pro bono work here,
right? One of the things is I also have a little pocket of money put aside because we're going to be opening up a camper.
Okay.
Here in about a week and a half, we're going to open it up and see
that time. Yeah.
See if there's any damage.
Damage from what? Just recent weather or over the winter?
Over the winter, yeah. It's an older camper, so there could be water issues.
I know you had that thing last year with the awning that kind of busted on it.
Oh, completely ripped off?
Yeah.
So I got a new battery for it. We're building a new spare tire rack at work for it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if we open it up and there's not any damage, I'm getting LED strip lighting with a remote control over 50,000 colors.
There's a guy who knows how to handle his buddy.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
It's a podcast you're hearing.
We forgot to mention that.
You're listening to a podcast, and it's called Couch Pilots. So I know you're asking yourself, when do we hear about the luxurious couches owned by the world's most famous pilots? The answer, never. This isn't about that. Couch Pilots is a dumb name for a dumb podcast about some dumb guys who watch dumb shows that never made it past their original dumb episode. But if you're into sectionals, Davenports, or even Shay's Lounge, we will interview Chelsea Sully Sullenberger about where he veggies out at the end of the show.
Very good. That's a tough name to get through.
Chelsea,
but I wouldn't say
Sully
it's a stupid name and a stupid podcast.
It was just repetition is supposed to be funny, so I wrote it that way.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, I'll be the first to say that I'm a dumb guy, but I don't think the show's dumb.
I don't think you're dumb.
Well,
I find you very intelligent.
Oh, do you?
And creatively intelligent.
You need to shoot higher.
No, I find you creatively intelligent.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, that's an insult. I will take that as
really?
No.
Okay. You can fly a fucking plane.
Yeah.
I can't fly this plane by myself. There was one time, there was this girl I wanted to impress.
Right.
And so I snuck her into the hangar.
Yeah.
You know, and
look how big this hangar is.
Tarmac John was nowhere around.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I'm not a member of the Mile High Club. Are you? And I was like, no, I'm not, which is kind of ironic because I've been a
countless
pilot.
Hours.
Yeah, countless hours. You know, because we went to the Air Force and got our training. A lot of people don't remember that, but we went over to Baghdad. Mm-hmm. I did a couple of flight simulations there. So it's getting pretty hot and heavy in the cockpit. And she's like, why don't we just go somewhere? Let's just go somewhere. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. So I had her open up the hangar doors, and I put it in.
Put it in neutral.
I put it in neutral. I put it. The stick shift's hard to figure out. Yeah. It had been a while since I did that.
N is neutral.
Right. So I got it in the gear and kind of rolled out. Kind of did a roll thing. I didn't kill it, which was great.
Yeah.
She got back in. She hopped in.
While it was rolling.
Yeah, while I was rolling. Okay. It was very 007. And I put on the brakes and was kind of looking both ways. And I was like, where is Captain Black? I can't do this without you. You're like my right hand man.
Yeah.
I'm like, once we're in the air, that's when I do all the But getting up in the air that's you.
It's a 2-man job.
Right. Getting it up and getting it down is you.
Yeah.
Pushing the buttons is me.
I'm notorious for getting it up and then later getting it down. So, yeah, I mean, it's a two-hander.
Yeah, so I didn't get laid that night.
No? We'll get there, buddy. Someday we'll figure this thing out. Or we can have intercourse.
Well, I think the best thing for us to do is at some point we should cross-train each other.
That's a good idea.
I learned to get it up and then to work it and get it down.
And then I'll learn to be like, beep, 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 beep.
Right. So that way we're cross-trained. We will be, to me, we would be twice as efficient.
I think so. And then one of us could go to the bone zone in the air. But sex?
Oh, you mean sex? Not with each other.
No. I mean,
like if I had that girl again, I coaxed her back in. Then you would be there for me, and so then once we got it up, then I could go in the other room and go to Pound Town.
Yeah, just close the curtain.
Okay, all right.
So I couldn't see what you were doing.
You could still hear it though.
Oh yeah, that's part of the deal. We all get to hear.
Yeah, we got those security cameras too. That's kind of weird too.
Oh boy, that whole story goes right along with what we watched today. It's another Disney nightmare. 1986's Fuzzbucket. Gross. That sounds gross. Fuzzbucket sounds gross.
I was really lucky. Normally, I'll save that. There's how does this show? How do we figure out which ones we're going to do?
How do we? Oh,
am I too early on that?
No, we can talk. Because
it kind of goes with what I want to say.
Sure. No, there's 3 things that we have to. It's very specific. How do we determine what we're going to watch? There's 3 things that we really look at. And, in a Phantom Fourth right now, if we really had to look at right now, it's got to be from the 1980s.
Right. That's the Phantom.
Yeah. That's the one that
that's
will
the
change.
Phantom in the room.
First, we'll start at number 1.
Number 1?
It's got to be free.
Got to be free.
2, it's got to be available to be seen.
It's got to be available to be seen.
And 3, it's got to be a failed pilot that had no more than 1 episode that was aired once or never even aired at all.
Right.
That's it.
The ones that never air at all are kind of like our premium member.
They are premium
flights.
For sure.
So normally we find these on YouTube for the most part.
Right.
99.3% we found on YouTube.
Yep, that's where I found mine.
This one is on YouTube. But you know what?
Chicken butt? Is that what you're going to say?
Funny. The voice, Dustin,
mm-hmm.
He had the DVD copy of this.
Yep.
Why? He said because he's a sucker for nostalgia.
I think it's because he's a crazy person.
I think he has an obsession with DVD cases.
We have both been to his basement,
mm-hmm.
and I hope, I think he lives down there. I think he lives in the basement, not in the room where all the stuff is. But I pray to God, if that house ever burns down, that he is able to get out of there. I feel like it's just a fireman's death trap in there.
But my thing is he doesn't know what would he take. He's got autographed pictures from all the most odd people you could think of.
Apollo Creed.
I think Big Papa Pump.
iCarly.
John Lennon.
Dunstan checks in.
I think Yogi Berra.
The Iron Sheik.
And I think Belle Biv DeVoe.
He's got Belle and Biv.
Yeah, he's missing the DeVoe. But he also has Milli Vanilli.
Yeah,
That's
and
weird.
one of those guys is dead, so that picture is literally worth probably $12.
Like, yeah, easy $12.
That's an easy 12 for Dustin.
So he brought it over and let me use the DVD copy to watch instead of watching it on YouTube. So I wanted to give him a shout out.
Well, I tell you, that's great because a lot of times we watch this stuff and the audio and visual quality is garbage. Can you speak to that at all? Was it way better?
It was better in the fact that it was better. It wasn't like HD better, but it was better. It wasn't like somebody had it was like somebody had fixed the tracking before they recorded it on their VHS. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the voice.
Big ups to Dustin for that one. 1986. I was 5 years old when this came out. How old were you?
Calculate plus 6, 11.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old.
Easy schmeezy there. We got through that one pretty quick.
That one's pretty good. I mean, our calculation system is getting so much better around here. We don't now that we're actually alive, it goes a lot faster. Like we were watching a lot of stuff that was before you were born.
Dealing with the negatives? Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's like carry a 1, negative times this negative equals a positive.
Not on my clock.
No.
No, thank you, sir.
No, thank you. Ain't got time for that.
So, like we were saying, where can you watch this for yourself? Now, if you want to watch, you probably don't have access. The listeners out there are frequent flyers. You probably don't have access to Dustin's DVD. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't. So you can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on our show notes, and you'll see all of our classically blue links. Just click on one of those.
The blue links mean go.
Yeah. If you're looking at a stoplight, you see red, yellow, and green. But here, there's two colors. There's blue.
And there's anything but blue.
And there's anything but blue. So if you see blue, you go.
Yep.
Anything but that?
Put on the brakes. Take that finger and don't push down.
That's right. Don't be a clown. Don't be a clown and push down. Right?
Yeah.
Hashtag, what's that guy? Who sang the brakes? These are the brakes.
What?
That rap song. These are the brakes.
I don't know. Biz Markie?
Sure. No, it's Kurtis Blow because he wants you to know that these are the brakes.
Oh.
That's who it is.
Okay.
It's Kurtis Blow.
That's why they rhyme so you can remember their names.
That's what rhymes with pilots? Chocolate mints?
Rubble mints?
Rumple mints? Or go to YouTube and search Fuzzbucket TV Pilot. There it is. That'll be right.
You can do that too.
Either way, whatever you want to do.
6 in one, half a dozen of another. That was a...
Sorry.
That's okay.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
6 in one, half a dozen of another is one of those old white... Whoa. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Are you buckled in for
Hold
safety?
Hold on.
Hey, you want a stick of gum? Here, take a stick of my chewing gum.
Give me some gum.
This is a juicy fruit. I guarantee it'll move you. Ears back? Ears pop back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, man.
6 in one, half a dozen the other.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll say it, and I'm pretty sure I've said it wrong. And I know it means like it's rhetorical or redundant, but I don't understand what it means. Though.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
6 in one, half dozen.
It's all the same.
It's
all the same. No matter, like I could go left or I could go right. You know what? 6 in one, half a dozen another.
Yeah.
I
guess.
Do I use the upstairs bathroom or the downstairs bathroom? 6 in one, half a dozen another.
Well, I use your upstairs bathroom when I need to make a BM.
I know, but then you give it away by doing that.
That's fine. I see. This is my dilemma when it comes to BMing in your house. Like I had to do it during the podcast marathon because it was a long time not to make a boom boom, and I knew that I was giving it away. That if I went upstairs, that's what I was doing. Mm-hmm. But what's the other option? Right next to here in the kitchen, just go to the bathroom there and then have everyone hear and smell.
Because there's been times on the plane where you've went all the way to the back, and I mean there's a good 450 yards to the back of this plane,
right?
And
Massive plane.
I mean, you're willing to do that. And when you go in there, when you go back there, people are always wanting your autograph. They're little kids are like, "Oh, can I have some wings?" You have those little toy wings that you give out. That
you're a captain now, kid.
Yeah. And so I can imagine, like, you've got to start going back there like an hour before you actually have to poop.
Now, that's how well I've gotten to know my own body, is that I can really tell, like, okay, there's an obstruction, but it is moving, and it's entering the large intestine.
Sure.
And once it hits the large intestine, I know I got about 55, 57 minutes to get from the front of that plane 450 yards to the back of the plane.
Right.
And when I get back there, all I'm doing is sitting on a Lowe's 10-gallon bucket.
Right, with a noodle, a swimming pool noodle around it.
And then for the smell, I just put some saran wrap and a rubber band over it.
Well, we put kitty litter on the bottom of it.
That helps a little, but I mean, there's.
But it'll help better if you scratch it.
That's the part I don't do, though. I don't scratch my poop in the. I don't know.
You don't scratch the poop. You scratch the kitty litter onto the top of the poop.
Maybe that's why I stopped doing it, because I was just getting my hands full of feces, and to me, it wasn't worth it.
It gets under your nails.
Summary of the pilot. In the vein of Harvey, an invisible creature befriends a 12-year-old boy. Of course, no one else can see him, nor believes in him. Do you know what they mean when they say Harvey?
It sounds familiar. Like, I know as soon as you say it, I'm going to know, but there wasn't,
Harvey is a movie from 1950 starring James Stewart.
James Stewart, yep, damn it.
And the summary of that film is as follows. Due to his insistence that he has an invisible 6-foot rabbit for a best friend, a whimsical middle-aged man is thought by his family to be insane, but he may be wiser than anyone knows.
Yeah, my mom is a big Jimmy Stewart fan.
Everyone does a Jimmy Stewart impression. Can you do one?
My name's Jimmy Stewart. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Pretty good.
Thanks.
It's pretty good.
How about you?
Say hello to my little friend. How's that?
Perfect. That was his older, like, toward the end of his career. That's how he sounded.
Oh, Scarface, man. I think.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Stewart as Scarface was awesome.
Until recently, like, I think Quentin Tarantino broke the record, but at one time they had the most amount of F words in a movie in Scarface. And I was like, man, I grew up watching, whatever the hell that movie, It's a Wonderful Life with him.
Right.
And like, what an about face,
like,
for Scarface.
Yeah, pardon the language, but he was like, well, who do I fuck? Me. That's who.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't believe what I'm hearing, Jim. But, he's a classic. I think he won 30, 45 Academy Awards.
Sure.
For
I think
that
he won 3 Grammys.
Yeah, 3 Grammys, too.
But we're not watching that. We didn't watch that because that was successful.
Right. That was a successful show. Let's get into interesting facts. Now, this is my favorite part of the show because a lot of things are subjective, and you can think this way and that way about something, but these are set in stone. These are facts that we know undoubtedly are true.
Inequitably.
Right. Inequitable?
Inequitably.
Inequitable rights?
Yes, Black Captain. Now, would you say this is what you spend most of the prep flight time doing?
No, I spend a lot of time in fonts.
Okay.
I really like what's going to fit on an 8x11. 8.5 by 11.
A gig poster. A gig poster.
Thank you. And it's really, a lot of my work goes into fonts. But there are the facts out there, they almost kind of like just present themselves to me. Like they're diamonds in the sand that shine extra bright.
Sure.
And I'm able to spot them quicker.
Yeah, we talked about it. They're like dinosaur bones.
They're very much like these facts are like dinosaur bones.
Why don't you hit us with some facts?
Here's a couple. Stars Robin Lively, the older half-sister of Blake Lively. She is the sister. She was the star of the 80s flick Teen Witch.
Yes. Stevie.
Stevie, right. And Teen Witch is recently lampooned on the podcast How Did This Get Made? That was a free plug for them because, I mean, they're struggling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're on the Howl Network, Earwolf. I mean, come on.
But
Jason Manzuka.
Jason Bazooka?
Yeah, he was on Reno, not Reno 911. What is that? Not Adam Sandberg.
Brooklyn
911. He was on an episode of that, and he got a hang on man.
He did not.
Yes,
he did.
Yes, I'll show it to you later.
I love Brooklyn. I watched the full. I think first and most of the second season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I don't get Fox in my house. My digital antenna doesn't pick it up, and I think I work when it's on, so I never get to see it. But I like that show, and I like Jason Bazooka, and I can't believe he got a Hainong man.
Yeah, it's very obvious too. He's like, hey, no, man, wait a minute.
What a bastard.
Well, you can come over anytime and watch it because I have Hulu.
Oh, that's right. Hulu.
If you would just come over once in a while and spend some time with me.
Once a week for 3 hours? All right, fine. Wait, what we need to do is, while we're podcasting, have TVs behind us so we can watch TV and podcast at the same time.
Well, I thought about, we have an extra monitor. I thought about mounting it here on the wall.
Yeah. And
then we can like have it on in the background, maybe have the volume down, and just to get the vibe of it.
Perfect.
But also on these facts, we didn't really discuss it, but it's called interesting facts, but it's not for us to judge.
We should say, we should put that out there, is that these facts, you may have mixed feelings about them, and I know for a fact I do, and I'm pretty sure, Mr. Rest assured, that you have feelings about them too. But we're not gonna express those. We're just gonna present you the facts and then let them lie where they will.
Sure. We're gonna lay them out on the bed for you, like your clothes, like your mom used to do.
Yeah, or like you're going down to the corner guy and he's laying a bunch of guns out on the bed for you to buy, and you get to choose.
Right.
This also stars Joe Regalbuto. I don't know how to say it. Of Murphy Brown fame.
Yes.
He was Frank Fontana.
Yep.
You remember him? Mm-hmm. Disney released a DVD on-demand version of this film as part of their Disney Generations collection line of DVDs on July 5th, 2011.
Dustin was the first one to buy one.
Owned by the FCF Network's very own Dustin, host of Drunken Lullabies. This was on TV May 18th, 1986, and the young kid, I can't remember his name, but his name in the show is Michael Gerber, which is funny because there's a good friend of mine with the exact same name.
Wow, that's a fact that's...
Careful.
Yeah, I know.
Be very careful. And that bastard won my fantasy football league this year, and I just got the trophy over to him today. He lives in Bloomington.
I wouldn't have given it to him. I would have said, you come and get it.
I'm the keeper of the trophy.
Bring it.
It is my sworn duty until the end of my days to take care of that trophy. Anyway, that young bastard was nominated for a Young Artist Award in 1987.
Congratulations.
And honestly, I think the kid did okay. I think the kid was an okay actor.
Hey, you're an actor for half the movie. You're talking to nothing.
And it was about God. Man, this movie makes me mad. Let's get into the plot here.
Okay, let's
Fuzzbucket. Disney Sunday movie.
And we watched it as a family.
Yeah.
Molly, myself, and my stepson and my son.
Young Eli and Garrett.
Yes, they were both watching it. We sat down and watched it. And as soon as it started, the Disney theme and everything, and Molly had a big smile on her face. Right. And I was like, what are you smiling about? She goes, I don't care how bad this is. She goes, this brings back so many memories.
Right?
I'm sitting down and watching.
All those old intros, Tinkerbell flying around, trying to get a little glimpse up there, what's going on up there. Sprinkling some dust. It does. It really does regale you internally with all these emotions and feelings.
Emoticons.
Yeah, it fills you with emojicons.
Emoticons.
What's that?
Emoticons.
Is that like a convention?
Emotional icons. Emoticons.
You're working on a different level than I am. Speaking of... Oh, wait. Okay, so you saw this on the DVD. I saw it on YouTube, and there's a couple different versions on YouTube, but I clicked on the longest one.
Sure.
Which I wish I hadn't. And I'm glad I did too, but it starts with Michael Eisner and Mickey Mouse. You saw this?
Yes,
okay.
That was on the DVD.
They're like on
and
the
I remember
set.
they used to do that. They used to do that before every movie. There was it was either him sitting in front of like a desk, with Walt's picture in the back,
Sure. His frozen head,
this little Nazi Heil Hitler thing going on there, or it was in front of the set of the director's chairs in front of the set of whatever movie they were introducing.
I would love for them to be like down in the laboratory, and you have 2 cryogenic chambers, one with Walt Disney in it, and then Michael Eisner emerges from the second one to introduce that week's movie.
That's the way it should have been.
Just like a lot of all this smoke and this dry ice fills the air.
Been awesome.
So they come out, and then Fuzzbucket appears on the set. And the voice is bizarre. It's real weird. It
was like the voice of the guy. It was a really bad Mickey Mouse voice.
It was.
And he was also doing the voice of Fuzzbucket. Like, it wasn't, they weren't that far off, but like when Mickey Mouse was talking, it was odd because it didn't sound like him at all.
And that's something I don't get. Like, when you go down to Disney World, and I haven't been for 20 plus years, none of the characters talk to you, right? None of the characters speak. that are the costumed characters, like with the heads on and stuff. Like I think there's a guy of recent fame, Gaston. From,
and like all the princesses.
Yeah, they'll talk. But like if you're a costumed, character,
if you're goofy, yeah. And my niece lives there in Orlando, and she has a yearly pass.
Yeah,
$500 per person.
Incredible.
But she can go 100 times a day.
I mean, I think most of your day would just be entering and exiting the park if you were to go 100 times. Like there wouldn't be any use to that. I don't think. Right.
Right.
Why is Mickey silent? He's always silent, and then like he would talk only when like his back was turned to the camera and facing him, and then like I feel like they wanted him silent, and then I don't know.
They wanted to keep him silent because he's always been the gesture guy. Like that's like you said, Walt Disney World. They just had gestures, but there was no way for Michael Eisner to work with this situation,
right?
And have them where they don't
talk.
Have
them talk. Executive producer John Landis. Did you see that?
No.
Do you remember John Landis?
No.
American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
And he did famously did the Thriller video.
Ah, yes. I thought you were talking about a different Michael Landis.
Oh, Michael Landon from Stairway to Heaven?
Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, no, was it Highway to Heaven? That's what I meant to say. Highway to Heaven in Little House on the Prairie, Michael Landon.
He died. Right. He had cancer. Oh, speaking of which, hey, just to let you know, when we did the nerd, we talked about John Dye.
Yeah.
We didn't even mention that he's dead. He's been
John
dead
Dye's
for
dead?
years.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Ooh, R.I.P. John Dye.
Thank you. Okay, I had it written down. Sorry.
It's kind of. I mean, I don't plan on ever dying, but his is right in his name.
That episode was like 6 weeks ago, but
the movie opens normal neighborhood. Pans over the neighborhood, everything looks normal, pans into the treehouse, and you got a kid in there talking to an invisible thing.
Sure.
And the kid is like questioning him, and you can hear, but you can't hear the thing's responses.
Right,
you know?
Yeah. Well, and what I did notice is you can't hear like verbal responses, but there's like a little flute playing. Like there's a flute that's playing like notes that gesture like there's some kind of communication going on.
And he does this thing too where it's like anytime the thing responds to him or asks him a question, like he repeats the whole thing that he says so he can tell, basically, he's telling the audience what's happening. I hate that. I hate that old trope. Can't we just be smart and use context clues to determine what's being asked?
Yeah, it's like with millennials nowadays. Just people are just lazy. They just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this movie in many ways was ahead of its time in saying is a big middle finger to the millennials who at that time were, in utero, perhaps. Agreed?
That's a horrible album.
Is it pretty bad? Heart-shaped box? Come on.
In utero,
No? Okay. Ties back into cancer, right? Apparently John Dye must have.
It had to have been cancer.
Too bad.
Do you want me to look it up or not?
Too bad John Dye didn't live long enough for Kurt Cobain to eat his cancer, just like in the song. Boy, that would have been great. The kid comes in for dinner. His sister Stevie calls him a tumor. More cancer.
I wrote that down. It's the next thing I wrote down. Tumor. Sister calls him. It's amazing that we come up with this stuff.
This movie is all about cancer.
It should have been called Cancer Bucket.
Cancer Bucket. It seems like an unhappy, quiet dinner. And then like Mickey starts talking to what he calls Fuzzbucket.
Yeah, and the mom and the sister and Mikey. I thought it was Mikey. Or is it Mickey or Mikey?
Michael, so Mikey.
Okay, Mikey. They were having a weird dinner. He doesn't want to eat what they have. Mom with her gap teeth and 80s hair. And Dad wasn't there because he was working late.
He's working long hours for those kids.
And, like the gravy had mushrooms in it. Who the hell is going to eat that? You can't expect a kid that age to eat mushrooms in gravy.
I don't know. It sounds pretty good to me, man.
And she says, you know what? You'll sit there and you'll eat it.
And he does. He stays there all night at the table, even though he starts junior high the next day. This kid's got to be well rested. He's sitting there all night.
Yeah, it's dark out.
So Dad gets home late from work and is told by Mom that she's worried about Mikey and his new friend. And honestly, this kid seems like a really good kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a little bastard. He's not talking back or being snotty. He seems like a good kid. And all of a sudden, she's out of her mind worried about him because he's talking to an imaginary friend.
Right. The mom and the dad are downstairs, and he's in his room listening. And they're talking just loud enough so we can hear. They're not yelling, just loud enough that we can hear and Mikey can hear. And, to me, like I already felt like meeting all the characters, like Mikey of all the people in the family has the best head on his shoulders. To be honest with you, he might see things, but he has the best head on his shoulders. He's his dad's manipulative and rude, and his mom is
Dumb.
And she also causes more of her problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then his sister, the daughter, just raving lunatic, just yells and says whatever she wants.
She really flies off the handle for seemingly no reason on him all the
many
time.
occasions.
He's a good kid, and yet everyone's so worried about him. And then he starts like covering his ears, like his parents are really going at it, but they're just like having a discussion.
Right. It's like a Disney argument.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then Murphy Brown and actually, I'm sorry. The next morning, Mikey somehow ends up in sleeping in the treehouse.
And what I thought was really, really cool was that there's a bridge.
I love that.
That was super awesome. He had to be a good kid. Why would your dad build you a bridge from your window?
Build you an exit strategy from the house if you're a bad kid.
Right. So, he lay there. He couldn't sleep. He says, fine, I'm taking my blanket, taking my pillow. I don't have to go downstairs. I don't have to go out the back door. I'll go out my window, walk over the bridge, and boom, I'm in my treehouse.
Isn't that the greatest? Isn't that like every kid's
I never
dream?
had a treehouse.
I had a weird, it was like a shed in the backyard, but it looked like a house because it had siding and windows and stuff. My dad built this thing. And I always thought, as a little kid, I was like, I want to build a slide from my window that goes down to the treehouse. And I was like, that'd be the great. This kid had that, essentially.
Yeah.
That's the greatest. But then Murphy Brown.
He had a TV.
He had a TV. He did have a TV there. I'm going to call Frank Fontana, the dad. I'm going to call him Murphy Brown.
Okay.
Going forward.
All right.
So Murphy Brown comes in, and him and Mikey have a talk. And at this point, I noticed that he has got like a serious butt chin going on. Like casting a shadow, like you could almost tell the time of day.
It was kind of like the guy from the cartoon.
I don't know, The Tick?
No, Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. They always make fun of his, like it looks like a ball sack.
Yeah.
But this guy, he really had like that vertical line, that deep ridge. Is that a natural thing that occurs?
Yeah, it's natural.
It's a natural thing. How does that happen?
A lot of it has to do with how your mom and your dad have coitus.
So the way you were conceived.
Yep.
Okay. Please elaborate.
Sure. Well, a lot of it has to do with doggy style.
Okay.
If you're
great style.
If your mom is giving your dad doggy style,
great album.
That will lead to the way the penis is going into the vagina and the way that it's hitting your urethra.
Yeah, the urethra.
Franklin.
The urethra Franklin. Yeah.
That can cause it. Or another way it happens is if you and your mother and your father have sex too close to birth. Like if you're too long in her pregnancy.
Oh.
That's basically what that little notch in the chin is your dad's penis just rubbing back and forth. Just
beating that kid about the face.
It's just rubbing back and forth. It's like the friction. Is
creating a groove.
Mm-hmm.
A permanent groove. Wow.
I should have just said that one instead of the other one.
I had no idea. I learned so much.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
What a fact. He then talks to Fuzzbucket. Mikey talks to Fuzzbucket, but we still can't hear him. And so the kid repeats everything the Fuzzbucket says, so we know what he's saying.
One of the things that I brought up before we go there is the difference between an invisible and an imaginary friend.
Yeah, I agree.
I always ask you questions right when you're.
I was just taking a quick drink. It's very low sodium in this cherry Pepsi or cherry Coke. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But like people have invisible friends. Are they imaginary, or are imaginary friends and invisible friends two different things? We can skip it if you'd like.
No, I think that I don't know of anything in nature that is invisible to where I'm looking right at it and I can see through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to me, it's one and the same.
Okay.
Invisible and imaginary. But in this movie, apparently, and I will say it is the case in this movie because I don't think anyone ever sees it. Spoiler alert, I don't think anyone ever sees Fuzzbucket except this kid. I think this kid is having some sort of hallucinogenic fever dream this entire show.
Right, because there's no interaction with Fuzzbucket and anybody else except the boy.
Yeah, and I kept waiting
until the end.
I saw on IMDb it's got the cover of the movie. And then
with the mystery guy?
I didn't see that. There's a mystery guy on the cover?
Well, there's a guy on the cover with sunglasses on. I didn't even see him in the movie.
Oh, boy. Was it about 45 minutes, the one you watched?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know if I saw a weird cut of it that maybe didn't have some stuff or whatever. But on the front, it's everyone sitting together with Fuzzbucket. So I thought at the end this was maybe going to turn into an Alf situation.
Sure. Like, hey, let Fuzzbucket come live with us.
Yeah. Didn't happen that way, and no one ever sees him. So the kid, I think, is insane. That's what I think.
Touche.
At this point, and I guarantee this did not happen on your DVD, it's time for a commercial break.
I did not have that.
And Fuzzbucket today is brought to you by Levi's 501 Jeans, Wendy's for an extra 99 cents. With any purchase, you can get your very own GoBot.
Ooh, a GoBot. I loved GoBots.
Tone soap. Have you remember Tone soap?
No.
Bye Dry. I'm giving Tone a try.
Uh-uh.
Okay. Kraft Mayo. Squeezable now. It's in the squeezable bottles.
Wow.
That's big. And then, of course, the real Ghostbusters cartoon coming to Saturday mornings this fall on ABC.
Nice.
So,
Man, I'm sorry I missed it.
No, it's a lot of great commercials. And honestly, I do like it when the commercials are left in. And then I hear this was taped off of WTSP call letters from Tampa.
Okay.
So very, very close to the Disney World source. But back to the show. I'm sorry. I love the commercials. I want to make note of them.
I kind of put my head down in my hand because it disappoints me. Like watching the DVD, I was like all excited, but then I didn't even think.
Well, this show didn't on YouTube anyway. Did not go the way of the tribe. It still exists. You can go out there and click our very own classically blue links if you want to watch
fast forward it till the commercials.
Yeah. Right. You know what? Maybe we should even create a YouTube video ourselves and just call it Fuzzbucket commercials and have nothing to do with Fuzzbucket. Maybe put a little icon of him in the corner and it's just all commercials from it.
Nice.
Maybe not. Mikey rides his bike to his first day of orientation at school.
Fuzzbucket's riding with him.
Is he on the bike too?
He's I'm assuming he's in the basket.
Like ET style?
Mikey's. It was the back. The basket was in the back.
Okay.
But Mikey was still talking to him as he was riding his bike.
Michael Gerber. Again, this is a kid that I know. They can't find him during the orientation, so he goes to the office when they can't find his name, and they're still using typewriters in there.
Oh, yeah.
This is 1986. You would think they're at least using those DOS-looking...
Right, no, they had the card catalog, and they had the cards.
Dewey Decimal in full effect here.
I found it really interesting that he shows up to school, puts his bike on the bike rack, doesn't chain it, walks in, no backpack, no lunch, first day of school, no supplies.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Then, what school have you ever been to that the first day is when you go and stand in a line and then to find out where you go?
I did not notice him. I didn't notice him locking up the bike. I did not notice. I didn't really think about him not having any supplies with him. But you're right. That's something that I did think about. It's like, why are these kids like in orientation the first day? This is something that you do weeks before with your parents, and then maybe all the freshmen or the youngest class has a day before everyone else to kind of get situated. But you're not standing in line and learning everything about
and finding out where you're going to go.
Right, that's silliness. It's a lot of weird things like that.
And so you mentioned that they go to the office because he's not on the list.
Yep.
And he's sitting there, and there was this really attractive little girl, which I'm sure now she's probably my age.
Right.
Now.
So not attractive anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, because every time you get mad at me every time I talk about the attractiveness of a child.
Imagine that.
So she's
that's not the kind of show this is.
She's on one end of the long bench.
She was cute, yeah.
And he's on the other, and they're kind of looking at each other, and she seems a lot older than he is, to be honest with you.
If I was that kid, I would have had a raging meta world milk boner.
Oh, yeah, a meta milk boner. They're looking at each other, kind of giggling, and then all of a sudden, Mikey starts giggling and laughing and kind of just moving around.
He's losing his shit. He cannot take it. It's apparently Fuzzbucket is tickling him. For what reason? I don't know. I got no idea. But the principal comes in and he says, "Hey kid, what's your major malfunction?"
What was that principal from? He was
the dean from Animal House.
That's right.
Wormer or whatever.
Yep. He had the horse.
Yeah. Well, was it? Did he have the horse?
Yeah.
I know Kevin Bacon was part of that. Those douches.
No, he had the horse, I thought, and they
got him drunk or something.
Got him drunk and then killed it or something.
That sounds about right. But he takes him into the other office, and he starts talking to him about showering with other boys.
That was so funny because, to me, at first the principal was kind of a jerk. You know, he's like, "First day, you nervous?"
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I'm okay. Nervous about taking showers with the other boys. It was the creepiest. It was unnecessary.
Truthfully, though, I remember going from 5th grade elementary school to junior high and being like, we gotta shower with them. It was a thing. It was kind of that's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. And then it was always a thing too where the coach or the gym teacher would be sitting in a chair by the shower.
Yeah, he would stand there.
And then all the girls would tell me the same thing about their teacher.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you stand?
You got to make sure they take a shower.
why not individual stalls? Mine was a big open thing. They probably had
it was
six.
Huge open thing. It was like a big cement block box.
Yeah, and it's like 6 or 8 different shower heads going. And I'm just like, I can't. I rarely took a shower in gym class, but the times I did, the towels were so tiny and like sandpaper. I remember.
And you had like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the time you got done playing kickball, you had 3 minutes to take a shower and get dressed. But you had to do it. You got points against you.
I think they're in cahoots with the Catholic Church.
And I'll tell you what, I remember my gym teacher. It was Mr. Larson. Was my gym teacher
Yeah.
at Parkview School in Creve Coeur, and he was a creepy fella. And it's just he would just stare as the kids were coming out.
Yeah, I don't. It's so weird. There's got to be different. Why not stalls? Just something with a door. Why can't the kid?
Yeah.
At 6th grade, you're showering yourself. You know what's up. You don't need someone staring at you and making sure you clean your body.
I think it's a really weird, inappropriate way to prepare you for life.
Maybe, yeah.
When I was even in high school, we had a gym membership to Landmark, and my dad would take me. You know what I mean? And after we'd do a workout, we would go and we'd shower. And it was so weird to take a shower with a bunch of men, ranging from 11 to 83.
Yeah.
You saw as a kid,
The evolution of man.
The evolution of a man's body.
Yeah.
It was odd.
I go to a gym now, and Planet Fitness, I think it is for fat people, basically, to say, hey, fat person, no judgment here. I don't shower there, and I think they do have stalls there, but I live 2 minutes away, so I don't shower there. And it's weird too because sometimes dudes are just naked in the locker room. And
just hanging out, just combing their hair. And my dad always had one of those horse brushes. That's how he combed his hair. You put your middle finger through the little hoop. It was circle.
Really?
And that's how he combed his hair.
In his palm.
Yeah, it
Nice.
was weird. And yeah.
Anyway,
He was some kind of Italian dude or something.
We digress. Fuzzbucket screws Mikey in the principal's office by not speaking out loud when being asked to.
Mikey's
by Mikey.
say it, tell him.
Yeah.
So he thinks I'm crazy. He's thinking I'm crazy. Come on, Fuzzbucket, tell him.
And the principal's like, all right, kid, whatever. And then Mikey kind of smartens up and says, oh, I must be nervous about school because he's like, they're not going to believe me.
Again, this kid's smarter than every adult he's ran into so far.
Yep.
He's more mature. He's like, you know what? You're right, dude. You're going to tell me that I'm nervous about showering with kids. You know what? You're right. I'm just nervous. First day. I just got to go on with my day now.
And the guy says, all right, fine, go back to class. Cuts to at home. Mikey
go back to class that he still doesn't even know where he's at.
Right. It's all sorts of plot holes here. The dean from Animal House deserved better than that. Yeah, I'm sure he's looking at that like, I got to talk about showering with little boys. Thank you. Great.
No wonder he's such a jerk.
No wonder he's dead. At home, Mikey gets out all sorts of food and blends it in some sort of blue goop, and this mixture begins to glow.
Yeah, and when he was putting it all together, I'm like, I know it's going to happen. He's going to push that button on the blender, and it's going to go all over everywhere. I can't wait
for that, too.
And even Garrett goes, I know it's going to happen. He goes, I do, too. It's going to blow up all over everywhere.
Nope.
And it didn't. Threw me for a loop.
I was so anxious. I was like, kid, put that rubber topper on top of that glass blender and hold it there with your hands. Hold it. Do not move it.
Because with those, they used to have a rubber it was a rubber top.
Yeah.
And over time, that rubber would warp.
Yeah, it'd get a little dry rotted maybe, or you get some leaks, maybe a little part every time, a little couple drips would shoot out. I said, kid, get your hand on top of it. It's going to get all of it. Nope. Perfectly fine. It starts to glow. Then we take another commercial break.
Again, tell us more.
This portion of Fuzzbucket is brought to you this week by McDonald's Shanghai Chicken with 3 new flavors.
Wow. I don't remember Shanghai Chicken.
There's hot and spicy mustard, your sweet and sour sauce, and then some sort of teriyaki. Also by Big Red. I love Big Red. I remember that old song.
Gum? Big Red, the bubble gum?
Yeah. That goes on and on. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember the Big Red song? Toyota Camry.
Oh.
Great car.
An 86 Toyota Camry.
I honestly, to this day, maybe one of the best Camrys ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl Vision Center. And then, stick around Monday morning. You're going to see Farrah Fawcett on Good Morning America.
Hell yeah, Farrah Fawcett. Boom. I'm going to add a point to this show. I didn't know that.
I think right now, I'd like to think that Farrah Fawcett and John Dye are listening to Couch Pilots in Heaven together.
I think so. I think they've tuned in. They've subscribed on iTunes, and they're enjoying. They were just waiting. They were just waiting.
They're like, let's hurry up and die so we can listen to Couch Pilots. back to commercial break. Mikey bottles up the mixture and then gets busted making a mess and is immediately grounded.
Yeah, and that's where this is where you see that you really notice the mom's gap teeth. You really notice it in this scene.
I'll have to go back and watch that. Maybe it was a subpar quality of the video I was watching.
Yeah, you're grounded. You go.
And you're grounded from your fuzz bucket.
Yeah, you're grounded. No more fuzz bucket. Go to your treehouse.
Awesome bedroom to window to treehouse. Incredible. So he goes up there and he hands the mixture to Fuzzbucket, and for the first time we get some sort of
inclination.
Yeah, that he exists.
Right.
Because up to this point he's talking nothing. You're not seeing anything, any kind of movement, bumping, any touching. But he hands him the mixture and it floats in the air.
The jar floats. It's like a pickle jar.
It's like a little pickle jar full of this glowing stuff, and then he pours it into his mouth. And then it becomes some sort of reverse Raiders of the Lost Ark when Fuzzbucket starts to form in front of our eyes.
It was so even Disney in the 80s, they had special effects.
Sure.
These are horrible. This was just like an intern did it. At first there was this weird skeleton of an animal. It was not once Fuzzbucket appeared fully. The skeletal system did not match.
It did not match
at all. And as soon as it had a skeleton, it had eyeballs.
Yeah,
it was like Mystery Science Theater has that
Crowbot.
Yeah, the bubblegum head shaped thing. It was Crowbot.
Yeah,
his eyes is all, when you look at it, that's all you can see is his eyes.
Yeah,
it was his eyes and this skeleton of a raptor.
Yeah, it's slowly they're adding kind of pictures on top of pictures, and he slowly faded into existence. But it took a big jump, I think, from skeleton to some guts and eyes, and then all of a sudden he was all there.
Yeah, at first you saw the goo going down and then the skeleton, and then some organs, and then boom, whoop.
Fuzzbucket,
a furry rat possum.
He really is. That's what he's a tiny little guy. He's probably about 3.5 foot, really hairy, except for the face. It's very Alf-like. Because he's all hairy, and he's got the snout like Alf had, except the face wasn't real hairy, but he's got this kind of long hair, and he's got a tail, right?
Yeah.
He is like a big rat.
Or a possum. I thought it was more of a possum because they have a longer nose.
Okay, yeah. Fuzzbucket is excited to be visible.
Oh, so excited.
He traces Mikey's hand, tells him that him and his people are from the marsh, and
they're from Dead Man's Marsh.
Dead Man's Marsh. No one goes out there.
No. So he puts Mikey's hand down, traces it with a crayon.
Yeah.
Then he puts his 3-fingered claw thingy down, traces over top of it, and Mikey's like, "Oh, blood brothers." And Fuzzbucket's like, "Yeah, toads."
And then he watches cartoons and goes to sleep. His mom says something like, "Hey, get down here." And then Fuzzbucket wakes up and he says, "Can't go poop no more." Can't go poop no more. What does that mean?
I missed that. That's what he said.
Can't go poop no more. Fuzzbucket just throws his body from the treehouse. Did you see what he was doing? He's like, I think he was saying can't go home no more.
Yeah.
But it sounded like can't go poop no more.
No, it did sound like that now that you mentioned it. But yeah, he says Fuzzbucket, go home. And he jumps out of the treehouse. Just,
throws his body.
There's a ladder. There's a bridge. Just throws his body off the side of it.
It's like that part in Army of Darkness where they're obviously just throwing skeletons at Bruce Campbell to fight from off camera.
Right.
It's just these dead, limp this dolls just being thrown at him. And he just falls, but he hits the ground pretty well and he takes off running.
That hobble. He's got a hobble.
Yeah.
And so Mikey's like, I want to come with you. The whole time he's like, we're best, because Fuzzbucket's like, hey, we're best friends now. Blood brothers forever. We're best friends forever. I love you. In his own weird...
It's a chopped up, crappy Yoda speak is what it is.
And so Mikey's like, hey, I want to go with you. I hate this fucking family I got here. Why not? Let me go with you. And they're like, no, bad man's the marsh. Not good for you. You're no good there.
And now he's Asian.
Kind of. So Mikey runs after him. How Fuzzbucket got that far ahead of him because...
Those stubby little legs, that hobble.
Yeah, but supposedly Mikey at a dead run cannot catch up to this rat.
And the whole time, Mikey's supposed to be setting the table because his family went out for spaghetti and pizza.
Yeah, they took the wagon.
Boy, the booming 80s, I tell you what. When families back then could afford to have both spaghetti and pizza on the same night, wow, what a time to be alive.
Would they go to Palanza's?
Yeah. Yes.
I love that place.
Is there a spaghetti... Fazoli's, I guess. I was trying to think of a national spaghetti chain. I guess there's a spaghetti factory. Does that count?
Yeah, Avani.
Avani's is a national.
Yeah, national. Fazoli's.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of a place you can go get pasta. Fazoli's. Free breadsticks.
Polan's is where I went for my birthday. Every year I go for my birthday.
Didn't we go right there one time?
Huh?
The two of us in Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went and wrote together. You bought me dinner. I thought you were going to make a move on me.
Hey, it ain't over till...
Still coming. Why, when he leaves, why is Fuzzbucket in the mailbox?
He's hiding? I guess he's like, I'm in the middle of town. There's a lot of people. I better hide it. Or, hey, here's just a cute little thing we'll just do.
And then he leaves, though.
Yeah.
Why get in there in the first place?
How did he get in there in the first place?
Mikey heads down an alley, and a bloody bum emerges from some newspapers.
Yeah, I wrote that.
It's bloody.
Mikey goes all over town looking for him, goes into an alley, and meets up with the quintessential, AIDS-infested, gross.
Trans.
I don't know.
He was... Didn't he have big bloody scratches on his head?
Oh yeah,
What was that about, Disney?
They're like, we got to make this. We got to make sure kids don't go down alleys.
Yeah, no doubt. But a little further down the alley, Fuzzbucket is fully dressed. I don't know where he got these clothes.
He just pops up out of a garbage bin.
Yeah, and
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that would scare me too. He's got glasses on. He's got a hat. He's got a big trench coat or something. He's fully dressed. Perfect. It fits him perfect. He looks great.
Yeah, it looks like he's incognito.
Fuzzbucket looks great.
The outfit of the summer, in my opinion.
And then they kind of leave. At that point, I thought they were together. They're like, okay. But then he loses them again or something. Well, and when they're running out of the alley, I'm like, this alley is filthy.
Right. No, Fuzzbucket gets bit on the tail.
Oh, that's right.
By a rat.
Forgot about that.
Which is ironic that that rat is a cannibal rat.
Yeah, they have to have the same genus.
What? What's a genus?
It's one of the ways 7 names that classify an animal.
Oh,
genus.
What are the other 6?
You got species. You got maritime law. Duncan Hines. Classical, and French Canadian. And with all those 7 categories, it can even we're Homo sapiens, right? That's how we're known.
Well, I don't like to talk about it.
I go both ways.
Yeah,
I'm bisapien. I'll take it. What do you think about that?
Hey, whatever works. I still love you either way.
Try hit on me again. See what happens.
But buy me dinner again. All these flight hours to go. All these lonely. Staring out into the black sky,
the black abyss. Yeah, that is the Earth's atmosphere.
Close quarters.
A man starts thinking,
and the butt's not that big a deal.
And it's like Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger.
Brokeback.
If it worked for them,
Brokeback Pilots.
Brokeback Pilots. That's right. Look for it this time. You know what? We're joking before about maybe we should write a pilot episode of something. There you go.
I like it.
Just a couple of gay dudes flying planes together.
I'm ready to.
You want to sign?
I'm ready for filming. Line? I'm ready for filming because I know what's going to be good.
As long as I get 2 on the back end.
Huh?
I want 2 points on the back end.
I only got 1.
We'll split it. 1.5.
You want me to invite a friend?
I think we're talking about 2 different things. Back at the house, the family is worried, and the dad heads out to search for Mikey. And Fuzzbucket looks like a giant rat that walks on his hind legs.
Yeah, his dad says, "Don't worry, I'm not coming back without Mikey." The sister is going to go to every kid's house, and the mom going to sit by the phone, and she's not leaving until she hears if Mikey's okay.
It's honestly a pretty decent plan, I think, because you have to have someone at the place where the kid was
at the headquarters.
Where the kid went missing to begin with. Because if that kid goes back there, boom, there's your dumb gap-toothed mom.
You're exactly right, and she seems lazy anyway.
Time for another commercial break. Maybe the last one.
I'm excited.
Hanes T-shirts shrink less than Fruit of the Loom. Studies prove it. And so if you like the way they fit, if you like the way your T-shirt fits, it's going to stay that way with Hanes. It'll shrink a little bit, but not near as much as Fruit of the Loom. What? Are you a Fruit of the Loom guy?
I've got to be because I don't like Michael Jordan.
Why don't you like Michael Jordan? What was that? Just because he's a spokesperson is going to determine whether or not you buy the product?
Yes.
How much of that do you think is actually going in his pocket?
It doesn't matter.
Why don't you like Michael Jordan?
He's just too rich and too good of a basketball player.
That really ruins an athlete.
And then he had his dad killed because of a gambling bet.
He had his dad. Is that true?
His dad was killed because of his gambling debt.
His dad was murdered?
Yeah, his dad was murdered. His dad was murdered on the side of the road. He was shot on the side of the road.
I think you're thinking about Bill Cosby's son.
No, I'm not. I'm talking Michael Jordan's dad died.
Hold on. Is Michael Jordan's dad Bill Cosby's son?
Could be. Let me. You can ask my wife.
Okay, well, I tell you what. I'm gonna let you look into that. Also, thankfully, Keebler Townhouse Crackers sponsored tonight's viewing of Fuzzbucket. Also, Palmolive automatic dishwasher liquid. Are you tired of using those powders? Are you trying to get powder residue when you're washing the dishes in the dishwasher? Use Palmolive automatic dishwasher liquid. Pizza Hut. This commercial, it was only a test. Throughout the whole thing, they're saying it's only a test. But if you feel like you have to have pizza, then dial your local Pizza Hut. If it's an emergency, you'll get a pizza.
Whoa.
Disney theme parks. Enjoy memories that'll last you a lifetime. Only at Disney World. And finally, New York Mets versus the LA Dodgers this week on ABC Sports.
That's pretty cool. Yes, Fayetteville, North Carolina. James Jordan, the father of basketball star Michael Jordan, was shot and killed. Daniel Green, who changed his name to Lord Olua, is one of the two men in prison for this.
So you think it was because of gambling debt?
I am 99.9% sure.
I do not remember that at all. I'll take your word for it, though. Back to the movie. It's morning. Mickey's been searching all night for Fuzzbucket. He's in the wilderness. He climbs up a tree. He gets a little frustrated, but he manages to belch out, "I love you."
Yeah, Fuzzbucket. I love you.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was like. At this moment in the movie, like, you can see how emotionally invested Mikey is. But all I'm thinking is, who gives a shit? Like, who gives a shit? That's all I'm thinking at this point. Like, who cares?
Don't you want to see where Fuzzbucket's from?
No, I don't care about any of this crap. Fuzzbucket's been visible for like 6 minutes. You know, before that, I was trying to make it some sort of connection with an invisible creature I wasn't even sure was there.
That's true.
And then now I'm supposed to care about this kid and this thing that have known each other for a day and a half, maybe? Yeah. Who cares? Go to hell. Mikey upset. He leaves, and he's going to go home. He's kind of upset. He's like, "Fuzzbucket, I helped you. You need help becoming invisible."
You said you were my best friend.
He said, "You were buddies. Best buddies for life."
For life.
He's like, "I'm heading home," and then he falls down a hole.
Imagine that.
Imagine it.
He wandered all throughout the Dead Man's Marsh. Mm-hmm. All night long. Yep. Looking pitch black.
Looking for this stupid animal.
Didn't fall through a hole. Middle of the morning. Bright sunny day.
Hole.
A
search team then spreads out to find Mickey.
And this is my favorite part. Like, I hate that people...
The ending?
No. This is my favorite part of life, like on TV. I don't want to see any animal or any person get lost, or, but this reminds me of Making a Murderer. I love when they get the search party and they do the whole thing where everybody walks an arm's length from each other and just goes straight in a line. That's my favorite thing to watch.
And why is that?
It's just like it's just like a human grid. It's just
you like the efficiency of their searching?
Yeah, I like the organization of it. Like, my OCD is like, yes, that's how I want people to look for me when I if people don't look for, like, I just imagine when I disappear or I get murdered or something and people are looking for me, just there's just random pockets of people going random directions, just like crossing each other, and I'm right in the middle of all of them.
Well, you're searching over here too? I was searching over here.
Right. They even had a basset hound, so they were going to find him. They had a basset hound.
I like that it's like when I get lost or when I get murdered, it's coming.
Oh, I know it is. And I'll tell you what, there's one person that you need to look at first.
Your wife.
Yeah, damn right.
It's always the wife, right?
You're damn right.
I think you could make it happen, essentially. You could disappear, maybe leave a couple clues, set up some cameras.
Blues Clues?
Maybe you could leave a couple Blues Clues. That's right. And then you can get some of those blue and magenta dogs out there searching for you, and you could go in a straight... You could set it up to where you could watch your own search happening.
Yeah. Well, to me, I would make it like the ultimate geocache.
Okay.
You're like finding my dead body.
Geocache is that app where it's basically like it's a fun little inconsequential treasure finding
using
thing, right?
GPS.
Right.
Yeah, we've also found another one, by the way, Munzie. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, my death is going to be like the ultimate geocaching like treasure. Finding my dead body.
See, I thought you could do it where you're still alive, and you could just set this thing up like make you go disappear, and then you could set it up like clues to where you'd be, so they'd go to a field, and you could videotape it and watch it later.
Okay, I got
but
you.
You're saying when you actually die, you want your death to be a game of geocache.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have specifics on that? Or are you still working it out?
I'm still working it out, but it's going to have to be a big box because I'm getting fat.
Oh boy.
Okay, so he falls down the hole.
Yep.
Everybody's looking for him in town. Basset Hound's looking for him. No, it's going to work. He's going to be found. I didn't think he would be found until I saw the Basset Hound. But anyway, he falls in, and he's searching for a fuzz bucket. All of a sudden, 5 or 6 fuzz buckets.
I think, if I fall in a hole, first of all, I don't know that's a fuzz bucket hole. I'd probably I'd probably think it probably is. But I don't know for sure. I don't know what's in that hole. If I'm that kid, I'm trying to go out the way I came in.
He didn't try to climb up. He didn't try to climb up at all.
He crawls deeper and deeper into that hole/tunnel and hears something. He's not sure what it is. But he's like, oh, is that Fuzzbucket? So he keeps yelling, Fuzzbucket, Fuzzbucket. At this point, if I'm in a dark hole, and I start hearing noises, I would be terrified.
Yeah, I'd be shutting the hell up and sitting in the dark corner.
That's right.
I mean to be racist.
Cat in black corner. You're right. He sees a bunch of Fuzzbuckets, and when they see Mikey, they scatter. They just run away.
Well, hell yeah. If you saw Fuzzbucket come into your house, you'd be scattering and freaking out too. It's the opposite way.
But I don't.
As
a
Caucasian kid from the suburbs in your dungeon,
he's up to no. He's up to no good, probably, right?
He's there to eat their children or something.
I don't know. I would be terrified though if I saw those things. If it saw me, it would just be one big cluster.
Yeah, one looked like a skunk.
Yeah, they're awful. I know we're gonna have the same thing here. Fuzzbucket pops his head down. He comes down and he says, "Oh, thank God he's here." And then Mikey says, "I want to be with you."
Yeah.
He says, "I want to be with." Essentially telling the kid, "Hey, I'm in the 6th grade. All the other kids are messing around in school, experimenting.
I'm not taking showers with anybody else but you.
I want to be with you."
Yeah. And then Fuzzbucket says, "No, this is no place for Mikey."
I love how he's Asian. I love it. Fuzzbucket-son. I want to be with you.
He's like, but Fuzzbucket's like, no. Friend. But Mikey's like, but you said we're best friends. You said we're blood brothers.
Yeah, you want to be with me? We can't be together.
Yeah.
He's like, why?
And he says, friends helping.
Yeah.
Your mommy and daddy better now.
And I was like, okay, I get it. Maybe show one or two extra scenes where the parents are really going at it.
Right.
They're not going at it in this movie.
Yeah,
these parents are fine.
They're not close to getting divorced.
No. These parents and then the Fuzzbucket, how does he know about that situation? And what has he done at all to help correct it?
And then he's like, we best buds. You best bud with no fur. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then the showering with the boys thing was weird. But there was something that was even more weird.
Fuzzbucket demands a kiss. He demands to be kissed by Mikey.
It had a high squeaking smoochy sound. It was bizarre.
It's a big furry dirty creature that lives in tunnels underground. Am I kissing something? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I already
take me to dinner.
Take me to church. Then they say goodbye.
Yeah, just okay.
And it's that's the last time you see Fuzzbucket.
Yeah,
for the most part. And then at least his interactions with Mikey, and it's just very like, okay, I'll see you.
He's like, I'm big boy now. Now
that I've kissed you, I don't need you any. That's a lifelong tradition that Mikey carried on. Is just loving him and leaving him. Just bestiality.
And all of a sudden, the parents are. They're like, we're going to give up the search. We're going home.
And some rando says, hey...
something's over here. Something's over here.
I know we're out here looking for a child, but there is something over here. It's him. It's Mikey.
It's him, under a tree, sleeping.
Yep. So they find him. They head home. And then the kid is exhausted. And he's like, go get some sleep. So they go up there, and Dad kind of tucks him in, and then he goes into his room, and there's presents in there. I don't understand this at all. Do you get this?
Okay,
there's two parents in their bedroom, and each of them find a present.
Right. So the mom opens her present first.
Yeah.
And it's a jewelry box. Or
I thought it was a hitter box.
It could have been a hitter box. And you know what? That's probably why she was in a good mood. Opens up and plays the song that obviously, for some reason, is familiar to both of them because their eyes light up. And as she's opening and playing the song, he opens his up.
Yeah.
And it was like a giant Hershey kiss.
Yeah, it was like I thought it was like some sort of glass dancer or something, but it's a Hershey kiss. You think?
I don't. We couldn't tell. We even asked Dustin because we know he's watched this more than once. I'm like, hey, what was that? He's like, you know what? I don't even know.
It's like, good question.
Huh?
He's like, good question. Bad movie. Good question.
good question. And then they go into coitus, and what do you see?
It pans over while they're coitalizing, and you're right. It pans over, and there's like glowing Fuzzbucket footprints on the ground. It pans to the window, and then you see Fuzzbucket like heading down the street.
Just heading down the street. Nobody sees him.
This is the only part of the movie where it's like Mikey has been in every scene with Fuzzbucket. You don't know if it's real or not because the movie ends and there's been no interaction with anyone but Mikey. And even Bloody Bum, who's in the same alley as Fuzzbucket, doesn't really acknowledge him. So I'm like, what is the catch here? Is this thing real or not? And then you see him leave, and at the same time, it's like Mikey isn't in there, but is it real? Are the footprints real? There's no real answers here.
Why are the gifts?
Gifts.
And
the gifts are like, is this how he helped the parents stay together? They were they weren't going to get divorced. It seemed like everything was pretty. It ends right there, and it sucks. This movie sucks.
The ending sucked royally.
God, after talking about a movie that sucks so bad, I need just a little bit of a palate cleanser.
Okay.
So let's hear a promo for one of my favorite FCF shows, the song Inside and Out. Ever wonder what inspired a songwriter to pen your favorite song? How did they come up with that cool chord progression? Or even how they got into playing music in the first place? Join the podcasting god, Amen, Blake Clayton, as he talks to the prolific songwriters in roots music to talk about the song Inside and Out. Join us every other Tuesday at fcfnetwork.com for the song Inside and Out. Also available on iTunes. Yeah. It's good?
It's on hiatus.
Oh, it's on hiatus?
Yeah. This is a very weird time of the year for the artists. And
spring.
Yeah. It's sprung.
Spring is sprung, and now they're all unattainable?
They're not all of them, but yeah. We're gonna get it rocking here pretty soon.
Well, this whole thing starts with IBWIP and will hopefully end there. But all these great music artists, these great roots music artists, this whole scene, you can really dig into some of your favorite artists' tunes and like the personal feelings about them, and even how they were written, and like I said in the preview, the chord progression, all that great stuff to really dig in and to understand your favorite artists and where those songs came from. It's all of that on the song Inside Out, hosted by you, Philip Restisher.
Philip Restisher hosted. No, I really like doing it. I really like doing it.
I want to be with you.
I really like doing it. There isn't anybody that I haven't interviewed, really, for the most part, in the past 9 years. And I don't want to just slap whatever artists, but there's some in the pipeline that have stuff coming out, and I kind of want to wait for that stuff. So, but just take a little
breather.
Siesta.
Season 1 over. Season 2. You've been doing it for a little over almost a year now, right? Because I remember it's kind of started last year when we did the live episode.
Yeah,
for the
we got back from Muddy Roots is when I kind of not Muddy Roots, but Moonrunners, and Moonrunners is coming up. So almost a year. Yeah, there's 20 episodes, easy.
Well, check out the song Inside Out. It's available at fcfnetwork.com.
Do you want to know some of the people that I've interviewed real quick? I mean, I don't mean to plug my own stuff.
No, that's fine. Pull it up here, and I'll just let the people know to subscribe in iTunes, review the show, tell your friends about it. If they're into roots music as much as Blake, or even half as much as Blake's into root music, they're going to love the show. They're going to learn about all their favorite artists and all their favorite songs. Great program. It comes out like once every week, but like you mentioned, on a hiatus. I think you got about 20 episodes under your belt right now, right?
Yeah, there's 20 of them.
Okay, so who are some of the best interviews you have?
Some of the best interviews, James Honeycutt, who's always great to have. Both of the guys from the Harm Brothers. The Ray Vietti interview is the best.
Oh, right.
We do getting greetings from Mardi Gras, and he goes through every line of the song and like where it came from. It's really cool.
Is that the guy who was in who opened for like the Ramones or something? Or
no.
Okay.
Possessed by Paul James, Willie T. Taylor. Oh, geez, gosh, there's so many people. Slack Eyed Slim, Michael Rank, who
okay.
Yeah. Lester Raw, who is a really good friend of IBWIP's from the Pine Box Boys. He's been on. They have a new album coming out. Joey Henry, who is obviously one of my biggest influences from the Calamity Cubes and the Dirty Sunshine Club. Joe Hubert, Jeff Shepard was the last one we did, and that was episode 20. And I mean that song is about his mother and his father both dying in the same year.
Yeah.
I mean it's really, really powerful. So we've had tons of great artists. It's worth checking out.
Absolutely.
Check
that out.
Thank you. I owe you $5 now.
Thank you. I'll be expecting that $5.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Now here we talk about our thoughts and feelings about why this show didn't work out. And I think just in general, like if I'm a child and I'm watching this show, I think this is pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
But as an adult, it really is not very good. And the question comes to my mind, if it's presented as a Sunday night Disney movie, was it even meant to be a pilot? And I'm going to lean towards yes still. I want to lean towards yes.
I really think that when they had those Disney, Sunday night presentations, that's where they had pilots that they hadn't aired. That's where they put them off to.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
When I was a kid and it's time to sit down and watch a movie on TV, I knew I was sitting down for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. This was an hour show. Mm-hmm. And I think it could have been a half-hour program, which started off with like a little mini movie.
Sure,
this is the kickstart for it.
Yeah.
And to me, there's a ton of possibilities.
Oh, endless.
When
you have an imaginary friend, the possibilities are...
Sky's the limit, my friend.
Just over 50,000 colors.
That's right.
I can't wait to get that thing.
The LED lights?
Yes.
Tax return well spent. The show could have been... They could have done a lot of things. They touched on a lot of things very lightly, which could have opened up many avenues for where it could have gone. But altogether, the show... Like, I wasn't invested in their friendship. I didn't care about it.
Right, it didn't last that long.
No, it didn't last long. I didn't care about their friendship.
They didn't spend more. They spent 15 minutes together at most.
I watched Pete's Dragon a lot when I was little. Mm-hmm. I don't remember a ton of it right now, but I feel like the dragon really did help the boy.
Right.
It helped him out. In this scenario, this kid didn't need any help. He had an awesome bedroom that went to a treehouse. He had parents that were still together. He lived in a great neighborhood. He had pretty much no problems at school.
He had pizza and spaghetti.
In one sitting.
When's
the last time you had pizza and spaghetti in one sitting?
When I went to Planzas for my birthday.
Yeah, and I've never even been there except with you when you took me on that date. And we didn't have both of those things.
I wasn't going to. It was the first date. I'm not going to buy you both.
You got to see what you're going to get for your money, right?
What that is you have one person order the spaghetti and the other person order the pizza.
Like the personal pan pizza?
No, you order a big one. You don't order a pure.
And you go halvesies?
And you split it.
Yeah, that's a good plan. This kid had it made in the MF and shade.
He seemed to be pretty well rounded to me.
If first of all, I don't know why Fuzzbucket was invisible. Something about being up after midnight or something. Some BS. And if
he did it again, he could never go back.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It doesn't mean anything.
It was that part was. They spent so much time like the school. They spent that whole scene at the school. They spent so much time with that when they could have been developing their friendship and relationship.
Half the movie Fuzzbucket wasn't even around, and you can't invest in something you don't see, especially at that point if you don't even know it's real. I mean, there's a minor indication in the beginning when Michael Eisner's high-fiving that little Fuzzbucket, but I feel like I was saying Fuzzbucket like an insult, but that's really what it's called.
Right. This movie was a Fuzzbucket.
What I would do to improve it, I'd give the kid more turmoil in his life.
Yeah, make his life bad. Make his dad hit him.
Yeah, this kid had it.
Make his sister pregnant.
What really ruins a kid's life is when his sister gets pregnant. If it survived, I think, let's spend some more time in school with the kids, how they interact with it.
The shower scene, possibly. Let's do a whole episode about that shower scene.
Let's do a whole episode of kids just showering in a big concrete brick. Right? Did you what was it? Oh damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, not good. And for those reasons, and probably many more that we're not even touching on. Anything that you'd like to add to where this could have gone, how you like to see it improved? I'll give you as much time to yawn as you need.
Thank you very much. You know what? That's the sign of a true professional.
FCF etiquette.
Yep. If I put my finger up, hey, he's needing a second.
You're praying to God.
I just hit a home run.
Praise be to Him. That's it. There you go.
I'd like to thank God for this podcast. Again, cut the school scene in half. Make something traumatic happen.
This kid needs to have some sort of turmoil.
Like, what's the an imaginary friend or invisible friend comes when a child is missing something in their life.
Right.
He had everything. He had a freaking bridge to his treehouse.
What else could you say?
He was a great artist too. He drew robots.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
What are you smiling about? What's so funny over there?
This is the longest episode ever.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, real quick here, IMDb score 7.4, and again, I think that's a high score in my eyes, and it's attributed to, hey, I saw this when I was a kid. I'm searching it out now. I'm watching it, or if they don't watch it, they just score it based on how they remember it, which is very positive.
Sure. Both my kids enjoyed it. Like I said I said, "Did you guys like that?" They're like, "Yeah, it was really good."
This is made for kids.
Yeah,
absolutely. Audience score 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's about right. A bunch of 4 out of 5 stars for Ronald Hatkins. Love this movie. 4 out of 5 stars for Barnett Mawson. He says, watch this as a kid, rewatched it to remember the movie. Pretty straightforward.
Isn't that why you would watch it again as an adult?
5 out of 5 stars.
Thanks, Rusty.
By Amazon customer. Movie is so bad it's good. And perhaps our most poignant and relevant review comes from our very own Dustin Wyckoff from... I contacted him earlier today because he was on a couple of our shows here, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are doing Fuzzbucket? I love that. I have it on DVD. I wish I would have known." And honestly, we don't really know week to week what we're doing. So no offense to him, we weren't trying to Fuzzbucket him out of the situation. But he says, when I heard Couch Pilots was watching Fuzzbucket, I was surprised they even knew about it. This is one of my favorite shows as a kid, and I actually own the DVD. No, I'm not joking. I totally let Blake borrow the DVD this week, which means more frequent flyer points for me. Absolutely. I mean, who's got more frequent flyer points than Dustin? I had no idea this was even a pilot. I just thought it was a Disney Sunday night movie. It has the guy from Murphy Brown, the Dean from Animal House, and even the Teen Witch herself as the bitchy older sister. What a cast. Except for the mom, she can't act her way out of a paper bag. You would think the character Fuzzbucket would have frightened me as a child because of my fear of rodents, and that's exactly what he looks like, a mutant sewer rat with a nightmarish face and a mouth that moves like a stroke victim. He went to town. He dissected this. However, I watched this many times on my VHS copy I recorded off of TV. One of my favorite parts as a kid was when he makes the green ooze that turns Fuzzbucket visible and the awesome treehouse with the bridge to his room. He really is touching on... I mean, we're talking about the longest episode ever. We could have just cut it down to this.
We could have just read this.
I'll admit that watching it as an adult is not quite the same. I still find it charming in some ways, but if this was my first time seeing it, I'd give it a 4 out of our scale of 7. But since I have the warm, fuzzy nostalgia factor for it, bump Fuzzbucket up to a 5.
Wow.
Now if you excuse me, I have a beer to go drink.
Oh,
so classic Dustin the voice, and what a well-rounded review that was.
Yeah, and one of the things I can see where Dustin would like this. To me, he had a well-rounded childhood. Didn't have a lot of problems.
Right, Dustin or Mike?
Dustin,
yeah. Mikey and Dusty.
Yeah, Dustin. We'll call him the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. No, and. Dustin seems to be the kind of guy that would enjoy some fantasy.
Maybe Dusty sees himself in Mikey.
I think so. You know what? And if we had him here right now, I bet you he would say that he had an imaginary friend.
Maybe so. Maybe.
We love you.
So.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
We told you what we're doing.
We told you.
We
done did.
We gave you a summary. We talked about interesting facts. We broke down the show. We told you what to do to improve it. We let the viewers have their say. We even let Dusty have his say. Now it's our turn. Blake, how do you rate Fuzzbucket? Pachinko machines fully activated. Boy, I'm seeing some lights I've never seen before on this thing.
I'll tell you what. I have a number, but both my kids liked it. My wife smiled, which very rare.
You never
very
get that
rare.
out of her.
She smiled because of the nostalgia of the introduction.
Right.
I'm going to have to bump it up one, and I'm going to have to give the Bucks and Blonde bump for those things and give it a 4.
Nice. So 2 children enjoying it and a disgruntled wife equals 1 Bucks and Blonde.
Yep.
Okay.
Your math is correct.
If you said a 4?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go one less, and I'm going to give it a 3. And Antonio Scarpacci. Yours was a Joe Hackett. This was just, to me, it was such a mess. They make it a 2-hour Disney movie. Really flesh some things out.
Sure.
Correct some of the things we talked about.
But I'm telling you, they didn't make this as a Disney movie. They made it as a pilot, and dumped it off onto the Disney Sunday night presentation.
I believe it.
Yep,
I believe it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, we're closing the book on Fuzzbucket. We're done talking about it, but the show's not over. We're not done yet.
We're never done.
Join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of The Crystal Cube. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. A spoof science program hosted by Jackie Meld. In each episode, a different topic of science was to be discussed. In the pilot, it was genetics. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app, and click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes to go right to the. You can see the whole thing.
Straight to it. I mean, it doesn't take you like when you get in an Uber and you say, take me to church.
Take me to church.
It doesn't go 4 blocks the wrong way, 4 blocks back over to get a bigger fare.
You're not going as the crow flies either,
nope.
but you're going the best route.
It goes straight there. Just the blue link straight there.
And it's not a very good show, but you should still watch it
for nostalgia purposes. Or
you can go to YouTube and search
which show?
The Crystal Cube.
Oh, don't watch it.
Or you can go to YouTube and search the Crystal Cube TV pilot if you're so inclined.
Or just wait for our episode to come out.
Yeah. Contact us. We are on Twitter. Follow us there. Tweet us, if you will. Help us instigate fights with stars like Frank Fontana and Victoria Jackson. We're at Couch Pilots Pod at Twitter, and or at CouchPilotsPodcast@gmail.com. If you've got any suggestions or questions for us, let us have it.
Or if you want, tell you what, if you want to check the balance of your frequent flyer points, go ahead and send us an email.
Yeah, you watch it, every week. Listen to our show. Send us emails. Interact with us on social media.
Share links. Share the links to the episode and stuff. Yeah,
and just watch your frequent flyer miles pile up. You're gonna get some signed aviators.
You're gonna call the house and be like, "Can you guys come and cash some of these out? I can't even give my kid a bag.
Truckloads just backing up and
cannot
dumping
even give my kid a bag.
You're gonna get some surprise prizes. I tell you that much.
The surprise prizes, to me, I would be chomping at the bit to get one of those.
It's like the show Press Your Luck. Do you want this bucket of pasta, or you want what's behind the curtain? You know you're getting the curtain every time. And what's behind the curtain? It might be a new car. It might be a laundry sack full of dirty clothes. You don't know. But you're always going for what's behind the curtain because it's a surprise. And we have surprise prizes for you.
Surprise prizes are the best.
Any other parting words?
No, I just, we're in the middle of April.
Yeah. Best month.
The sun is out. It's getting warmer. There's green grass.
Love green grass.
Cracking up the camper, getting that going.
Yep.
Summer's in the air, and we want you guys. A lot of you guys exercise. You run marathons.
Got to get that heart rate up.
Get the heart rate up. Put us in the earbuds. We've had a listener who was a long-distance runner, and he listened. He had to stop running because he was laughing so hard.
Yeah, and he ended up passing away too, or not?
No, he's still alive.
Oh, thank God.
Still alive. Thank God. But it's important to us. We want you guys to enjoy yourselves, and we enjoy doing this for you.
Absolutely.
But you have to tell people about this show. I can sit on social media for 17 hours a day,
and you do.
Pretty much.
Seriously though, if you are enjoying the show, honestly, thank you very much. We have a lot of fun doing it, and I'm glad you enjoy it. But the best thing you can do to help us is tell a couple people about the show. And if a couple people hear it and one of them likes it, and we can just grow and perpetuate. We're not making any money here. We do it for the love of it. We love being 10,000 feet in the air watching crap shows and recording about it.
We're like Cuban baseball players. We do it for the love of the game. We know we're never going to make any money. We're never going to get across that water.
Right. But at least we got those cigars, those sweet Cuban cigars. Well, guys, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Love you. Give me a kiss.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.